Hello everyone, it's Mark. I am the Sanderson Collector, and this week I'm going to show off two more very special books, probably called ARCs, that I have, as well as a new book that came out this week. And of course my ARC, who is wandering around. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. This week on Tuesday, we had the release of White Sand Volume 2 as a paperback. So the hardcover came out last year, but the paperback is now out. And so if you like to get these in paperbacks, Volume 1 and 2, they go pretty well together. The numbers are a little bit of a different size, so that's not ideal, but they're still pretty good. And if you like them as paperbacks, Volume 2 is now out, and you can get that. I still do not know when Volume 3 is going to come out. I have heard that the art is done and it is going to be out this year, but the date keeps getting moved around, and I think all the dates on Amazon are guesses anyway, so that'll happen at... Stop knocking things off my desk. That'll happen at some point, and until then, well, you can now get Volume 2 as a paperback. And with, the boring new release stuff out of the way, let's get into the exciting books that I got, which my cat is standing on. Please get off of that. And the first of those is one of the first arcs that was ever made for Brandon. It is the arc of his first book, Elantris. And, says right here, advanced reading copy not for sale, has the original cover. I was lucky enough that a viewer of the channel contacted me and said that they had one of these and was wondering how much it was worth and so on. And so I gave them an amount I was willing to pay for it, and they went ahead and sold it to me. And I really appreciate my friend in Utah for helping me complete the transaction. My friend actually went and picked up the book, had it in his hand, and then I paid the money to the guy who sold it to me, and while he was standing there talking to the guy, so that we were sure, because it's a large amount of money and we weren't doing it through an online seller or anything like that. So we were very safe and careful about it, and I have it. And this is one of the hardest arcs to find because Brandon's first ever book. Not as hard to find as the advanced bound manuscript, which I'm still looking for. I'm actually down to just a handful of arcs that I'm looking for now. I will probably do an arc wish list episode fairly soon, but having this one makes the collection much closer to complete, and I was really, really excited when the guy contacted me and was willing to sell his copy. Now, the next one is not technically an arc. I'm not even sure what to call it, but it is Calamity in this advanced bound form. And it looks like, you'd get maybe your essays at school bound up or whatever. I remember I had some essays in middle school in a creative writing class that at the end of the year, my class and I went and got them bound up, and they looked a lot like this, just at a little print shop. But it is Calamity, and it's basically the final book. It has all the acknowledgments in the back, including my name right here. And so all that is in there. Everything from the book is in here, but as you can see, the pages are not cut down to size, but they also don't have the printer's marks on them for where to cut them down. So I'm not entirely sure how or why this was printed out. It's obviously not an official arc with any official cover or anything. It's not really an advanced bound manuscript either, because it's the final book and not the manuscript. So advanced bound final or something, I don't know. Apparently there were a handful of these made and sent out to reviewers. I've seen 2 or 3 other people who also have these. I'm fairly certain my local bookstore got one, and I don't know. But another fan of the channel and a friend of mine contacted me and said that she had one and would I be willing to give it a home in my collection? And I was like, yes, 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 absolutely I would. And so she sent it to me, and it is absolutely awesome to have this. This was one that I didn't even officially have on my ARC wish list because there's so few of them and it wasn't an official ARC, but having it is great because it means I get to complete the set of the Reckoners books. I have the official ARCs of Steelheart and Firefight, and I guess that means there's not really any unofficial ARCs that I still need. Like I said, maybe I'll do next week, now that I'm talking about it so much, my ARC wish list, or I guess top 5 or whatever books that I still need for my collection. And so that's everything for this week, and my cat is eating my hand because he's obviously hungry and not happy with being, restrained and not allowed to tear up the rest of my room. So I guess I'm going to go have to take care of him, and I'll talk to y'all next week. Until then, Mark and Ark out.